welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Megan Hoffmeyer, and joining me today is a man who is known for traipsing across the Scottish Highlands searching for murderers who are hunting teenage boys.
It's what every weekend looks like. You know, there's people out in the Highlands murdering young, impressionable teenagers.
And the scenery is great.
I mean, I get to see cool cows out there. There's nice fence lines. There's hills.
And you know, if you keep going long enough, you might just fall off a cliff on the other side, right?
I mean, there's camper vans going everywhere.
Yeah, watch out, beware. The sheep, everybody's in danger.
And a lot of ewes.
The bread.
There's a lot of ewes being running around.
Oh, ewes, gotta watch out for them.
I was accused of being a bread thief for a while.
Biggest thing to happen in the Highlands.
Number one.
Top priority.
Other than zombie, vampire, bread thief. Well, I am happy that I stopped bringing powdered soup with me that I just poured directly into my mouth.
Yeah, definitely don't throw your water bottle at oncoming assailants, because then you won't have anything for your soup or your hot cocoa.
You'll temporarily stun them, but then you'll be out of water.
Yeah, and you know, you probably can't make a big enough getaway from that kind of assault.
I love that movie.
That was such a surprise. What did you say to me about watching that? You know, it's late and we can stop watching it, but let's just start this movie.
Yeah, so we ended up watching this movie called Get Duped, which is on Amazon Prime. I'm trying to catch up on all the movies by the end of the year. We've been just working on screeners and different films that are around, so I'm trying to make sure that my top 10s, my random awards are the best possible. And we came across Get Duped because it's been on a lot of horror lists, best of list. And we watched that movie, and it's amazing.
Oh my gosh, it's so weird. But it's endlessly funny.
It's very funny. I never knew where it was going. I didn't know rabbit poop is eaten. And it's it is endlessly entertaining and always weird and quite beautiful.
Tripping on the rabbit poop, right?
There's good friends. There's friendship.
And they really are. I mean, I would solid recommend to go watch it. It is, just be prepared for super weird.
Well, thank you for that kind intro, Megan.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well, I figured since we're doing, you did it, but since we're doing the Random Awards, which has been an institution at Movies, Films, and Flicks since 2010, and we've been doing it on the podcast since 2015.
Dang.
And you and I did the mid-year Random Awards earlier this year.
Yeah, I actually enjoy doing the Random Awards because it's this time to sort of crunch all the movies that you haven't been watching, because, you know, we've got a lot of TV shows to binge these days, all of the streaming services. It's award season, lots of movies there. Just fun.
Yeah, and it catches you up on movies. It makes you kind of think creatively. It also makes you remember the movies you watch throughout the year.
Oh, it's tough, too, because we try to consolidate these lists because, you know, we don't want to take people on an odyssey of a podcast here. But
40 awards would be too much.
Oof, yeah. So it's hard because you're trying to condense it to the ones that you really want to get out there and the ones that have these insane, I mean, it's random awards, so the moments have to be truly random. And yeah, you don't want to give stuff away.
If you want to read more, I'm releasing my post on Movies, Films, and Flicks on the 31st. So we're releasing this on the 30th. And then you can go the 31st. Or if you're listening to this in March 2nd, 2023, just go to Movies, Films, and Flicks, type in Random Awards 2020. Now, quick warning, we're not going to go over a lot of the same territory that we covered in the first half of 2020.
All new material.
If you want to listen to the mid-year Random Awards, I recommend going back to that. There's some solid A-plus gems in there. But this is more for the movies we finally were able to see, or for movies that were from the second half of 2020. Not kind of an overall, because then we cover the same territory. We want to be fresh. We want to be random. But it's not random anymore that we're doing it because we have a system. Oh, no.
Oh, well, you know, I did the intro, so it's still random.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, yeah, there we go. No one knows what's going on right now.
Gotta mix it up.
Mark is really sounding differently.
I have heard you do these intros so many times from, you know, another room or downstairs that I figured I could get the lingo.
Well, you nailed it.
Thank you.
All right, so Random Awards. Institution on Movies, Films, and Flicks. Basically what we do is, instead of saying Best Actor or Best Screenplay, we say Best Ham Sandwich featured in a diner in the 1950s. So when we say random, we go, sometimes they're a little less random, sometimes they're more random. But basically what we're doing is, for me at least, I want to support the movies that many people haven't seen this year. And we're also trying not to spoil anything. Mm-hmm. But we had to narrow it down. And for me, I went with movies I think should get more love. What about you?
I haven't narrowed it down yet. I'm gonna be random with my list as we go, sort of like a shuffle playlist.
You're like an Aerosmith song. You're living on the edge. You're Rennie Harlan. You're Cliffhanger.
I love it. I'm ready to get into it. I'm gonna pick them as they come, and based on what you're doing. So
since you did the intro, can I start off?
Yeah.
Ooh, I like it.
Hit
so
me.
This one's gonna be weird, but it's Best Thermos in a Halloween Movie Award. And
oh, nice.
It's from Hubie's Thermos and Hubie Halloween. It's basically it's not basically, it is the Swiss ARF. It's the Swiss Army knife of thermoses. It's a vacuum. It's a shovel. It's a telescope. It's an umbrella. It's a drill. It's a flashlight. It's an inhaler holster. It's an eye black paint holder. It has, like I said, a telescope.
It's an eye black paint holder?
Yeah, you can like you're a football player, put eye black. Yeah.
Stuff.
Retractable leash. It's a megaphone, a grappling hook, a blender, pepper spray, a flare gun, a hair dryer. So Hubie Halloween. A lot of people actually did pretty well on Rotten Tomatoes. People didn't hate it.
Isn't that how his movies sort of go? People say they hate them, but then they do okay.
Yeah, everyone hates them, but they're always the number one on Netflix.
It's like that curiosity people can't help it. They have to watch it.
I can't stand.
But then they're going to trash talk it afterwards.
Yeah, but it's fun. And I had fun with it, but I stay up at night sometimes and I just think about that thermos.
About Hubie Halloween?
Yeah, I mean, it's 51% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's high for a Sandler film.
No, it's funny because when you mentioned the thermos, I instantly remembered the Swiss Army thermos. It's quite memorable in the movie.
But you know what I like about it is we watch so many movies that you know where it's going, but this thing is so ridiculous. There's a grappling hook in a thermos, and that thing shoots 30 feet.
Didn't he make the thing?
Yeah, he's basically Ernest P. Worrell with his industriousness.
Yeah, I hate how they get not a little. They get very mean to Hubie sometimes in the movie, but other than that, it's a fun movie.
It has the best thermos. Also, it has June Squibb, and June Squibb was also in Godmothered, and she had a voice in Soul for a little while.
Oh.
So June Squibb has been crushing 2020. And if you haven't watched Godmother, just watch it for the Squibb. She crushes it.
Oh, that's it's not on my list, but that was a funny movie. I laughed throughout the whole thing, had a big smile on my face, so it's a big recommend for the holiday season.
Well, it definitely has the best magic raccoon.
Yeah.
All right, what's your first award?
Okay. Wow, this is going to be tough. So what is going to be my first award? I'm going to go truly random here with Best Henchman Eating His Dinner During an Attack.
What?
From Tenet. So there's a point in Tenet, I think it's in the first third or 25% of the movie, where Pattinson and John David Washington are attacking. Well, they're not really attacking. They're infiltrating a building. And the henchmen, they take a few down. But then there's this group of henchmen in the guard room, and one of them is just eating his dinner while watching the footage of people just getting taken down. Doesn't care. That is an ultimate henchman move, and I just love it.
Listen, to fight time-bending spy warriors protagonists...
Yeah, that's about right.
You need to have food in your belly.
Yeah, I mean, he clearly knows what's to come, right? He needs to prepare. He needs to load up on his protein and his carbs, and he needs to be there for his people.
You're not fighting R-Pats on an empty stomach.
No, they probably know he's not, a big threat in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
They're preparing for the future.
Do you think the better the suit, the more you're worried about it? So if I jumped into a fight with a $100 suit, are you going to be scared of me? But if I jumped into a fight with a $10,000 tux, what's scarier? Does that make sense?
Question.
Like
it works for Bond. Doesn't he wear expensive suits?
He's like, this guy might bite me. Or this guy knows some form of karate.
And the protagonist, don't they have him in a bespoke suit at that point in the movie? Mm-hmm. So that's a good theory.
You're grappling hooking with a bespoke suit? That's why I'm eating, man. Leave me alone.
The man has to look like a billionaire, and he pulls it off.
Yeah, he knows his own. He can be pretentious on his own. He doesn't need Michael Caine's help.
That was something I forgot. That was going to be my other award, best jackets, because they have some great jackets in that film. Now, watch Tenet. It's a lot of fun. It's got some great action sequences. All of the fun sort of spy James Bondy tropes are happening, and it's a great way to watch them. But the jackets are next level.
Yeah, beautiful blazers.
Excellent blazers. Some double-breasted ones, some collarless blazers, some unique materials. Just go and appreciate the fashion.
All right, so that's going to lead me into my second pick. Now, this one's a little bit different because I'm going to pick something from the movie Sound of Metal, which I absolutely love. And there's a character named Reuben Stone. He is kind of why do I keep saying kind of and basic? He is a drummer for a kind of metal / like heavy punk band. And he always just wears dirty shirts. So he's the opposite of the Tenet guys. But he's a drummer. And he's cruises around the country in an Airstream, a beautiful Airstream. When I worked at a bar, people pulled up in vans with 3 wheels. And they had the roadie as the 4th.
So was the 3rd wheel in the middle of the back of the van?
No, the roadie was the 4th wheel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just wrapped the rubber around them and they used them as a tire. And 9 out of 10 times they didn't survive.
Oh.
It was a weird place I worked at. But no, but Sound of Metal, we listened to, remember the interview that we listened to with the director
really
and Riz?
fascinating.
Yeah, so we got to listen to this cool interview done by Amazon. No, it was Toronto, right? The international film. It was one of those, but we got to listen to this cool, was it Entertainment Weekly? I don't remember. Never mind. But yeah, so
it was a great interview regardless. I think the director and Riz Ahmed were a part of it. The guy asked some okay questions and some, not so great, but that's how interviews go.
It was better than that one question we heard on that one interview that got the one guy really pissed off.
Woof, yeah.
All right, so, but yeah, no, what I like about this movie is there's a really neat scene where Reuben Stone, and actually this is the best slide drumming award. So he has lost his hearing and he's also a former addict. So he goes to a place where, he has to get over his addictions while learning how to sign and kind of be a member of the deaf community. And he's doing okay. And there's a scene where there's this bratty kid who you think is a brat. And he's kind of making fun of him and like the way he dresses and stuff. But later on, the two start beating on a drum and they can feel the beating on a metal slide. Mm-hmm. And they can feel the vibrations coming from it. And it's just such a neat moment. Like, you feel it, and they're hitting it, and the kid kind of has his head down, feeling the vibrations of hitting the metal slide. And it's just, I don't know, it hit me. It hit me really hard. Riz better win the Oscar this year. I think it's the best performance. But it's just a tiny moment in a movie that, and director Darius Marder, his grandmother was deaf, and so she advocated highly for subtitles in movie theaters. Mm-hmm. And he was also a band photographer when he was young, so he really knows how to capture stage life. So this movie just reeked with authenticity. It was funded outside of the mainstream. A couple funded it.
Yeah, that was an amazing story. That was part of the interview. I wonder if it's online.
Yeah, I should share that. But it's just such a neat interview, and the movie, it's on Amazon Prime. It's my favorite performance, but it's just that tiny moment. It was a moment for him to it was a little cathartic, and I dug it. I know it's not super random, it's not super cheeky, it's not a thermos that can blend soup, which he serves to everybody, then pukes.
Well, there was a cool shooting style too, right? It went from very
handheld to kind of static, claustrophobic in the houses. Like, it's good. I mean, it's nominated for Best Picture. Just get over yourselves.
Go watch it.
All right, Megan, what's your second pick?
Oh, this is where the random part falls apart on me because I'm not prepared with my next one. Okay, let's go with best stew eating in a movie.
Best stew eating?
From News of the World. Oh. When the little girl is at the boarding house in Dallas and she's eating the stew with her hands because she's been essentially raised by Native Americans. Yeah. And he tries to get her to use a spoon, but she's not about it.
No, she's just shoveling food into her mouth.
In her mouth, all over her face. It's just... And then Homeland, our
favorite
president from Homeland, the most recent one, she comes through and tells everyone to just basically shut up and mind their own business. Don't look at her. Have you never seen a child eat? And they all go back to their business. It's a really good scene.
Tom Hanks is so good in it. And that...
It was a captivating movie. It really was. It starts off sort of, okay, he's reading the news. We don't know much about this, but wow.
Yeah.
What a good movie. Every encounter they have is very tense with outside people in their journey to take her home to her people once more, to her family, surviving family members. Man, it was stressful.
And the